62 of the Making Stories podcast. I'm Hannah-Lisa, your host for today and always, and I am so glad to be back here in this space. I feel a tiny little bit out of practice. If you've been following us for a little while, you know that I used to have a very regular podcasting schedule every other week. But since we switched to shop updates on a semi-regular basis, so there was a shop update at least once a month, I try to time the podcast so that I can show you samples that I've been working on, also other things that are on my needles, but then also new products, like there's a box of new products here that I want to talk about. And so that means there's not that regularity to my podcast recording anymore. So every time that I jump in front of the camera, it feels a little bit like, ooh. That being said, I hope that you don't mind this slightly irregular schedule. I still aim for at least one podcast episode a month because I really, really love it. I enjoy it very, very much. And also I just, want to have enough content to share with you because also a lot of you said that you prefer longer podcast episodes over shorter ones. So if you are new here, a very, very warm welcome. As I said, my name is Hannah-Lisa. I am the owner and CEO of Making Stories. We're an online yarn shop about all things sustainability and knitting. So we carry exclusively non-superwash plastic-free yarns. And I'm sitting here in my studio looking at the wall of IKEA boxes that we store our yarns in. That's why I was looking over there. This podcast is where I share what's on my needles, on my spinning wheel. Quite recently I started spinning, and also what's coming to the shop. And I hope you join me for 30-45 minutes of fun knitting chat, and we're gonna have a good time. Let me start with a couple of things that I finished since I last saw you. The first one is what I'm wearing. This is my Winterwood sweater that you saw in its work in progress state in the last episode. Let me get up so you can see it. It has a beautiful color work in the back, slightly creased. I am really, really happy with how this turned out. So I made this sweater with a very specific purpose in mind. I made this for me to wear while skiing and hiking. I used to have a really beautiful Manchelopis sweater, I think my first colorwork sweater that I ever knit. Made from Manchelopis that I picked up during our vacation in Iceland 10 years ago? No, that can't be. 8 years ago, I think. I loved that sweater. It was great. Like Manchelopis, if you've ever knit with it, you know that it's really lightweight, very heart wearing, also very warm due to the slightly coarser fleeces, or the Icelandic sheep have, in addition to sort of fluffier locks, they also have longer, which is called Kemp hair, at least in German. And that's what traps a lot of air. And if you spin this up into a yarn, then that also traps a lot of air. Anyways, it was a perfect hiking and skiing sweater, and it was great. And then I grew out of it. So it now has a very happy home with my sister, who wears it. And I was like, all right, we're going to go on a skiing vacation. I need not an outer layer, but I need something to wear over my woolly under layers. So when I go snowboarding or skiing, I usually wear merino leggings and then a wool t-shirt, not hand knit. Like Icebreaker or Ortovox, or there are a couple of different brands. 100% wool t-shirt, long sleeve, and then I like wearing a really thick sweater over it. Layers are the best, and wool is the best anyways, keeping you warm, keeping you, you don't actually sweat that much. Or if you do, then it just wicks away the sweat. And then outer layer that keeps out the wind. So I actually really, really needed / wanted to make myself a new hiking and skiing sweater. And I had originally planned the Caribou Crossing sweater by Wei Chin Chen. There are a couple of reasons why I didn't choose to go ahead with that particular sweater. One of which was that I realized that it was knit in Manchelopis, the unspun yarn, held single, and I actually don't enjoy knitting unspun yarn held single that much. Also, by the time that I actually was ready to start / not procrastinating anymore on this sweater, I was like, all right, I need something that knits up really, really, really quickly, because I think I started this around Christmas, maybe a little before. And then I remembered that I think at the beginning of last year, we did a wonderful collaboration with Jessica McDonald, who's a fantastic designer, for this exact sweater. So it's like, okay, great. Why not use, this pattern instead? Because it uses Manchelopis, which I wanted to knit with because it's really lightweight, but also really warm. It uses Manchelopis held double, so it's even warmer and knits up really, really fast. And it has color work, which makes it extra warm. So off I went and cast on the sweater in size 2, because I did a sneaky little thing. I didn't swatch. Instead, I measured the fabric on my Gentiloppi tunic, which is also knit in Manchelopis held double, and then I took that as the gauge, and that was slightly different than the gauge than the pattern called for. So I did a little bit of math and figured out that if I knit size 2, then on the needles that I wanted to knit it on, I think I used a 5mm needle, I could knit a size 2 to get the ease that I wanted. So long story short, that's how I came to choose my size. And then I knit it, and it's beautiful, and I love it. It's not blocked yet, so this has come straight out of my vacation suitcase. We came back on the weekend. And I really, really adore it. I quite like the neck. So you could actually fold this if you wanted to, but I wanted something that sat a little higher, like not super close to the neck, but a little higher. So I really quite like that. It fits well, I think, around the neck, also because there's short row shaping in the back, as you can see here. That part there, above the color work, that's the short row shaping. So that helps the sweater sit a little bit higher in the neck. And then you work a beautiful, fun colorway chart with increases in between. And you also work a little bit of the color work on the sleeves after you separated them, and on the body. So here. And then I made mine quite cropped because I wanted to wear it over high-waisted hiking or skiing pants and not have like a lot of fabric dangling around that could end up snowed on and stuff. So I made mine quite cropped, which I really like. And then also the sleeves are a little, like not super long, because I knew that I wanted to have base layers under it. So yeah, very much enjoyed this. I'm not gonna lie, like the color work was a labor of love. I do love knitting color work, but there was a lot of color work, and color work in unspun takes a little bit more patience, I would say. But I finished it just in time. So I finished it on a Thursday night, and Friday we were leaving for our vacation. I wore this, I think, most of the time when we were out skiing or sledding or just walking around, except for really warm days, because it actually is really warm and it is really lightweight. So exactly what I wanted. And I think I'm just gonna leave it like this and not even attempt to block it until next winter, because why bother? Like, honestly, like, I think it's fine. It's gonna even out a little more. Yeah. I'm still not the hugest fan of circular yoke sweaters on my body, but that's okay. I don't know, but that's like a personal thing. I think they make me look a little bit wider. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just like not super. I love this one, but like some of the others that I have or have tried on, I was like, I'm not sure that I like this on my body shape. Which says more about me and the relationship of me to my body about the sweaters, to be honest. So, yeah. Winterwood Sweater by Jessica McDonald. You can find the pattern on her website. I knit this in Manchelopis held double. Oh, I should mention the colorways. So the main color is Gris Claro, an undyed light gray that has a warm undertone. And the contrasting color is Lavanda, which is a dyed purple pink, I would say. I really, really love it. We do stock Manchelopis, although I'm looking at the IKEA boxes. We only have 2 colorways left at the moment. We only have Pardo left, which is a dark brown, and Caldero, which is a beautiful red-orange. I am not entirely sure that we're going to restock Manchelopis before the winter, because we do have quite a few really nice summer yarns coming into the shop, and I want to save up for them. So yeah. But, you know, we have a little bit, and you can also use any other unspun yarn held double for this beautiful sweater pattern. When I was done with the Winterwood sweater, I knew that I wanted to work on something for a yarn that we're going to be launching next week on February 7th. And it's something that I've been wanting to have in the shop for quite a while, but I couldn't really fit it into the schedule last fall. I adore color changing yarns. I think they're super fun. I think they're also just really good to inject a little bit of color into something and make it fun without making it gaudy if you combine them with neutrals. I think they're a great way to sort of replicate the hand spun look if you are not a spinner. And that's why I've been wanting to have a color changing yarn in the shop for quite a while. When I say color changing, I mean something like, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. I can actually show you this. Yeah, I mean something that looks like this. So yarn that is marled and then also changes the color of the marled over the course of a skein. The most prominent example of this is spin cycle yarns. So they're incredibly popular with their dyed in the wool and plum. There are like lots of different yarn weights out there now. They are really, really, really expensive. I understand why, and I think there's a place and a time for that, but that is one among a few other reasons why I'm not gonna stock spin cycle yarns. I still wanted to have a color changing yarn. And when we first started carrying Schoppelwolle last year with Albino, the linen wool sock blend that we have in the shop, I realized that they actually have a color changing yarn that is 100% wool and non-superwash treated, which is also a challenge because a lot of the other yarns that are color changing have some amount of nylon or polyamide in them and or are superwash treated, both of which we don't do here. So Schoppelwolle Zauberwolle it was, and I knew that I wanted to have at least one sample knit up. And there is one line of patterns that's just been incredibly popular when it comes to color changing yarns, and that's Amy Christoffers' pressed flowers patterns. it started off with a pressed flower shawl, which is a beautiful triangular shawl. And by now there's a cardigan, a sweater, a pair of socks, a vest, a hat, probably even more, with the exact same pattern on it. And it uses color changing yarns absolutely beautifully, and makes them really, really wearable. So this is what I worked on in my vacation. The pressed flowers hat by Amy Christoffers. What I will say is this hat is absolutely not size inclusive because there is one size. I did check out the cardigan, not the sweater yet, which is size inclusive in the regard that it has a broad range of sizes. So you can knit it with a really small bust circumference and also with a large bust circumference. It doesn't have a ton of sizes. So, you know, if you're in between sizes, this might be a little bit tricky. But I felt that this was a really good project to try out the color changing yarn. I combined it with the Rerum Natura Ulysse, which I think is a fabulous yarn to work with a color changing yarn. The other one that I would say from our selection that works great is Bitsy Garn Similar Mélange. Let me show you. So it has a really long brim, and then you work the now probably infamous color pressed flowers pattern, which is a slip stitch pattern, super fun to work, really easy to memorize. And you can see, if the camera focuses, you can see that we first start off with peachy pink, dark pink, and then we transition into the violets and grays here. So the colorway that I chose is called Aldebaran, which is this one. And it doesn't have there are some funkier colorway changes that I'm going to show you at the end of this episode. So it doesn't really have this like super sharp colorway changes, but more moody ones, which I absolutely love. So yeah, and I didn't actually need a lot of the color changing yarn. I have quite a lot of left over, and I was thinking that it might be fun to actually switch it around. So what is now the main color here, this was Poivre Blanc Bouleau actually, in the Rerum Natura Ulysse. Work this portion in the color changing yarn, and then have the flowers in the contrasting in the one color. So I might try that. Yeah, so this was really, really fun to work up, and gave me the color changing crave, or satisfied the color changing crave that I had, and also gave me a beautiful shop sample. So there's that. When I was done with that, I had two projects that I packed for my vacation. So I packed just a simple vanilla sock that I worked like maybe 3 rows on, so I'm not going to show that to you. But I also got a sweater work in progress out of a hiatus that I started working on last year. And I know that I finished the body really, really quickly, and then I put it away because I needed some time to knit up samples. And the sweater was sad and sitting there without sleeves. So I really want to finish it, because I actually crave a little bit of variety when it comes to my sweaters. Like, most of the sweaters that I am wearing in the winter, I've knit like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. I haven't really knit that many sweaters since for myself, which I definitely want to change. I need more cardigans, but also there's only that much knitting time, right? So yeah, so I wanted more sweaters. I am talking about my Twisted Vines sweater, which is a pattern by Joan Forgione from our issue 5. Which is not available in print anymore, but you can get a digital version of it, and Twisted Vines is also available as an individual PDF on our website. When you last saw this, which will have been at some point, I don't know when, it didn't have this sleeve. So there was a body finished, but it looked like a vest. And now we have a finished sleeve. Yay! So, that made me really happy. It is a really, really interesting construction. It's a saddle shoulder construction, which you can see here. So, you work this portion and then you cast on stitches or pick up stitches for the front, for the back, then you do a little bit of finagling, and then at the end you put it all together. How exactly you need the pattern for that. And then when you come to the sleeve, you work short row shaping to shape the top part of the sleeve. And then once you come to knitting in the round, it is knitting in the round. It has this beautiful cable panel running down the side of the sleeve. It's really intuitive. It works without a cable needle. Yeah. So I really liked working on this. I'm not gonna lie. The sleeve took quite some time. So I'm gonna make it a point and maybe knit on the sleeve a little every day so that I actually get to wear this winter. I made the sleeve slightly shorter than the pattern calls for because I have shorter arms than the pattern assumes. And yeah, the yarn that I knit this in is a beautiful DK weight yarn by my friend Eula from Woollentwine called Heritage, which she doesn't have anymore. But she quite recently launched sort of the respin of this, which is called Roots. And I think she still has some of the DK weight in her shop, which is the equivalent of what I used for the sweater. So if you like this, go check out Woollentwine's shop. I'm going to put the link in the down bar below. Alrighty. So there's that. That was my Twisted Vines sweater and my Pressed Flowers hat. The last work in progress that I have here to show you is a new skein from the spinning wheel. If you have been following this podcast for the last episode, you will know that I bought myself a second-hand spinning wheel as a Christmas present to myself. Louis S10, one of the, I think it's from the 70s or 80s, and I adore it. I haven't spun, well, I spun this, what I'm about to show you, before I actually started working on this sweater, and then I was like, all right, no more spinning time until I finish this sweater. So also my spinning wheel started making some funny clanking noises, and that annoyed me, so I put it away for a couple of weeks, and then when we came back from our vacation now on the weekend, I got it out of its corner, and I started spinning something that I had, like a braid that I had prepared, and it still made some noises that annoyed me, and so I took it apart a little bit. I wiped all of the parts clean, I oiled them and put them back together, and now it's all smooth again, so yay for that. And I already have the next braid on the wheel, so there's that. This, though, what I'm about to show you is my second ever full skein that I spun, and this is from two braids that I got from Maria Podlesek, who has a beautiful Etsy shop filled with rolags and braids. She's based here in Germany. And I got a really fun sort of tealy turquoise braid from her with bits of pink, and then also a solid sort of dusty pink mauvey one, and I spun them up as singles and then plied them together for what I affectionately call my yarn ball here. This, let me unwrap this. I still haven't found a really good way to transfer the let me show you first, and then I'm gonna tell you about my problem. So this is it. this is it. And I love it. I love it. The colors turn out exactly the way that I want it. It's quite a thick yarn, so probably like a worsted weight with like some DK weight bits in between. But it's so much more consistent than my first skein, and it was so much fun, and I love it. I really love it. I need to put it into its bath, and then I think I'm gonna knit myself a hat with it. So like just a plain stockinette hat with maybe like some ribbing. I don't think I have enough for like a Musselburgh hat or something, but something where I can just enjoy the color changes. So I really, really love it. So yeah, what I was about to say was this looks like this because I still haven't found a really good way to use my Swift to work up a skein from the blanking on the English expression for spule, bobbin. There we go. So when you spin a yarn and you've plied it, it sits on a bobbin, and then you need to put it into a skein, or you can also put it into a ball. But I wanted to put it into a skein to give it a bath, a relaxation bath that opens up the fibers some more. And I have a Swift, a beautiful wooden Swift, that you can put together like so that you can store it more easily. And I had already read in my spinning book that these type of Swifts are a little bit challenging when you want to transfer your plied yarn from the bobbin onto a skein using the Swift, because the wool is usually so strong, or the yarn is usually so strong, that it just puts them together like this, which is exactly what happened with mine. So I unfortunately can't use my Swift to create beautiful skeins. I might purchase a Niddy Noddy. That's like a thing. I'm going to show you then if I purchase one, where you can hand wind a skein. I just did this over the back of a chair, but which also meant that it was like quite a short skein, as you just saw, which means there's not a beautiful rolled skein, but this. Anyways, long story short, I love it. I am so glad that I am on this spinning journey. Yeah, if you're starting to learn how to spin, let me know how it goes. So yeah, alrighty. Last but not least, shop stuff, which I'm gonna be right back. It's like going through my jungle here. Oopsie. Alrighty. So there are a couple of things that are in the shop that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about our next shop update. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this, because I realized this has been hanging here for the past few episodes, but I've never really talked about it. So this is Katie Green's latest, newest tea towel, which is called Crafty Sheep, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sheep on there. All of whom craft. So they crochet, they knit, they spin on a spindle, they spin on a spinning wheel. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning work. They have been selling really fast. I think we have like 4 or 5. I will reorder them, but if you like it, I highly recommend it. It's great. So it's called Crafty Sheep by Katie Green. The next thing is that issue 11 has landed. It's not officially published yet. Official publishing date is March 13, but we got the first half of our print run before my vacation, and it's beautiful. And I love the contrast color that we chose, this beautiful teal. The theme of issue 11 is seashore. It has 12 patterns in it, half of which are accessories and the other half are garments. And I basically want to knit everything in it. I am obsessed with this collection. It's really, really, really good. I'm not going to dive into the samples of issue 11 because there's going to be a separate samples video. But I'm going to tell you, so that's going to be up probably at the same time than this video, because I'm going to record it right after. But I'm going to tell you that you can pre-order this now through us and also through a lot of stockists. And if you want to have a subscription, you can now get one that starts with issue 11. Subscriptions have the advantage that you get a discount, so they were 15% more economical, cheaper than if you buy individual issues. Also, you get early access to our new yarns that we're launching for issue 11. So, yay! Go give it some love. Alrighty. Now, our next shop update is, as I already said, our multicolored / color changing yarn shop update, where we're launching Schoppelwolle Zauberwolle, a 100% wool yarn, non-superwash, plastic free, color changing. It's between a sport and a DK weight, 250 meters on 100 grams. And it knits up very, very well to a lot of different gauges. So you can knit it together with a sport weight, like I did for the pressed flowers hat, with a DK weight. You can even knit it up with a fingering weight, I think. We have almost all of the colorways that are available, which are a lot. And, oops, one fell down. There we go. And I'm going to show you the colorways. What you need to know about the launch is it's happening on February 7th. As always, we do an early access launch for our collective members, levels, sweater, quantity, and full skein. If you are not yet a collective member, maybe you want to check it out. It's our Patreon-like membership program where we have a knit night every month, and there are specific blog posts and discounts and also early access. So there's that. I'm going to put the link in the down bar below. So if you're a collective member, levels, full skein, or sweater quantity, you get access at 9 a.m. Berlin time on February 7th. Everyone else gets access at noon on the same day. What is good to know about this particular yarn is that like with all of the color changing yarns, essentially, the skeins are different. Every skein is unique. So if you get more than one skein, I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Like the color changes throughout the skein, but also across the skeins. So if you purchase something from this shop update, the skein that you get might not look as like the skein that's on the product photo. Let me show you an example. So this colorway is called Katzengold. It's a beautiful combination of orange and pale pink. And then you also have some hot pink and some turquoise and some green in there. And this is one of the skeins. And then the second skein is this one, right? So you get a bit of the green as well, but you get more of the hot pink. And then the third skein, oops, this is getting really difficult. Oops, also. So this is the third skein that has more of the pale pink. So all these three are the same colorway, Katzengold, but you see how they look different. I just want you to be aware of this. I think this this is super fun. I think this is like one of the really beautiful things about this. And if you imagine, you know, you work with these two, for example, in a colorwork sweater, this is going to make a great color changing if you know, first work with this and then work with this. That's the beauty of this yarn. I just need you to know about this so that you're not disappointed when the skein that you get doesn't look exactly like the skein in the product photograph. So this was the first colorway, Katzengold. Oops. And now I'm just going to show you the rest of the colorways. We have a beautiful yellow green called Gelbfilter. This is so fun. This is super fun. This is Fuchsienbeet. This is purple and orange and hot pink. I love this so much. Like this and this would look great, right? Then we have the colorway that I used for my pressed flower set, which is called Aldebaran. So this is a combination of dark purple, almost Bordeaux and gray and a little bit of pink. We have this is one where I opened the package and was like, this is such a Christmas colorway. So maybe you already want to talk about Christmas stuff. This is called Papagei, so parrot in German. So this has greens and blues and reds and white and even a little bit of, you know, greenish yellow in it. Super fun. Really, really fun. Then we have Belladonna, which is a more muted colorway. So you have pinks and purples and reds and greens in here. Let me show you this as an example. So this here is Belladonna. This is Aldebaran. So this is a lot warmer. We have Elefantentreffen, which is a really fun, really, really good blue, I would say. So this is different shades of blue and white and a tiny bit of purple in there. So really good if you're into blues. Oh, this is one that I really love as well. This is called Schattenspringer. And it's on the colder side. It has lilac and pink and a little bit of turquoise and lots of gray in it. If you want something like it, but a little bit darker, there's Moonbar, which is lots of moody purples and lilacs. This is really fun, I think. This together with like a pale lilac would make for a great colorwork sweater. If you're more into the autumnal shades, we have Kichererbse, so chickpea, which has warm curry tones and pinks. And then if you're more into the primary colors, there is Kleiner Fuchs, Little Fox, really strong saturated reds and oranges and blues. Also, yes, I am fully aware of how these could look like. Yeah, and I'm here for it. Love it. Again, for the blue lovers, Rush Hour. So this is blue with a hint of lilac and light gray. Let me show you this compared to Elefantentreffen. So this is lighter than the Elefantentreffen one. Oh, let's just continue with the blues. There is Überdosis, which I quite frankly think it's so Überdosis means overdose in German. And I contemplated not getting the colorway because of the name, because I think it's a terrible colorway name, to be honest. I don't think anything should be called like this. This is really icy blues. Very, very cold. Beautiful colorway though. And if you like blues, but you're more into the dark ones, this is stone washed. So this is navy, navy with a little bit of light gray and light blue. Then we have Alice Paletti, which I think is super fun. So if you're into the 80s, my plant is attacking me. This is really cool. This is turquoise and purple and blue. Then we have Waldfrau, which is green and purple. Also really fun. Really fun. Really mild. We have Alter Schwede, which is a really gorgeous foresty colorway. So dark pink, burgundy, browns, and oranges. Teezeremonie, which is greens and fuchsia. This is such a fun colorway. Streiflichter. So this is really fun. Like this has yellow and light green and bright pink and a little bit of blue. And then very last but not least, Fliederduft. So the scent of lilacs. So obviously lots of lilac, but also dark purple and blue in there. I love them. They are all so good. Like seriously, I want to knit with every single one of them, and they're so fun. Like I can't wait to see which colors you choose and what to combine them with. As I said, I think they would work really, really well with everything from fingering to DK weight yarn. Fingering, sport weight, DK, all three would work really, 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 really well. Oh. From our selection, you can work them up with Holzgarn Super Soft. You can work them up with Beziegarn Similar Mélange, and you can work them up with the Rerum Natura Ulysse. I think all of these would work really, really well. In fact, let me just really quickly grab a few skeins. Okay, we're doing impromptu color matching now. So, 3 yarns that I think these would work really well with. As I said, Holzgarn Super Soft. I just grabbed, what is this? Topaz. So this is a fingering weight. The Rerum Natura Ulysse. This is eucalyptus. And Beziegarn Similar Mélange. This is denim, I think. Denim. So, let's see. Denim would work beautifully with Elefantentreffen, for example. Or also with Überdosis. Oops. And with Alice Paletti. Let's see, Ulysse and eucalyptus would also work really well with Alice Paletti, I think. This would also work beautifully with Waldfrau. And a really fun combination with Katzengold, I think. Topaz. Let me see, what would I pair with Topaz? Ooh, yeah, this is nice. Topaz and Streiflichter. Oh, this is good. Topaz and Schattenspringer. Look at this. Look at how this echoes this. Okay, just a few examples for you to see, which colorways work well. If you, want to see colorways next to one another, just send me a message and I'll put a couple photos together. You can do that on Instagram or you can send us an email. yeah, and I can't wait to launch these for you. So February 7th at 9 a.m. Berlin time for the levels full skein and sweater quantity of the collective, at noon for everyone else. And now I'm off to record the sample video for issue 11. So do check that one out as well. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let me know what's on your needles, and let me know whether you're excited for the color changing shop update. Also, if you have pattern recommendations for it, leave them in the down bar below. I have started a Pinterest board with lots of different patterns for it. So let me know. Alrighty, see you soon. Bye.